As you already know, the code for all the steps is present in GitHub in the repository in 28 minutes Java web application step by step. We are now looking at step 4. In this step, we want to add another get parameter password and also discuss about the disadvantages of using get requests. I'll go to the login servlet. Now, I would want to be able to accept another parameter by the name password. So along with the name, I would want to also accept another parameter called password. What I'll do is instead of creating a variable name, I'll remove that and directly put request.getParameter name in here. So I'll remove this line of code. So now there is request.setAttribute name comma request.getParameter. Similar to that, I would want to be able to access a parameter called password. So request.setAttribute password, and how do I get the password? From the request as well. So password, and now I can pass this value in. In addition to name, I can say another parameter. How do you pass in the second parameter? The way you pass in a second parameter is by putting an and the second parameter name. So password is equal to some password. This some dummy value I'm passing in. Make sure that you are typing in http:// as well. So the entire URL is http:// your web server name port name. The first parameter name is equal to in 28 minutes. The second parameter password is equal to some password, and these two parameters are separated by and the parameters are separated from the URI by question mark. This is the URL format. Now I would type this in, and there's nothing changing in here because we only added the request attribute password, but we have not taken it and shown it in the JSP. So let's do that as well. So let's quickly say my name is name and password is $password. Once I do this and I would now refresh the page, you'd see that my name is this and the password is some password. I'll do a right click, inspect element to see what are the parameters which are passed. I'll go to the network tab and reload, and now you'd see the get parameters. The request URL is localhost 8080, name is equal to in 28 minutes and password is equal to some password. And also you would see in the params there are two params, name and password, that are being passed. And the response that we get back is the content from the JSP. In the JSP we are using EL to replace the values, and we are creating the entire HTML in the JSP. HTML is written back to the browser, and the browser displays this in here. The important thing in here is for something as sensitive as a password, if we are sending it as a get parameter, it is sent in the URL. Internet is basically a huge number of routers and computers tied together. Whenever you access a website, let's say I access google.com, actually the request for that particular website would pass through n number of routers. So anybody in the router can see the URL that you are passing in. So if I use get parameter to pass my password, any of the routers would be able to see what is the information I am passing in. And that's not really secure, because anybody from then on can use the password that I am sending in to fire in another request. If the parameters are passed inside the URL itself, that's not really a secure way of doing it. And in get, that's the only way you can pass in parameters. And that's the reason why there is another HTTP request method which is present, which is called post. We will discuss that more in the next step.